Look, how to play. Main menu button. Basic commands. Look around to hear what's in the room. Inventory. List all your items. Look at /pick up /use any object. Combine /use an object with an object. Open /close /push /quill objects. Give /show objects to characters. Navigation. Go north /south /west /east /up /down to explore. List exits. Tells you ways out of your current location. Go to room to fast travel to previously explored locations. Conversations. Talk to character to start chatting. List topics. Tells you what topics are available to discuss. Ask about topic to learn more about it. Goodbye to leave the conversation. Other help will list these commands in game. Feel free to experiment with things like play piano or drink water. Sometimes you have to. Main menu button. Main menu button. Play game button. Play game button. Star sound on RYFT is designed to be an audio experience. Start RYFT. Main menu button. Set. RYFT.
RYFT. Part 1. A timely manner. A flash of blinding light. The world spins around you in a dizzying array of colors, shapes, and sounds. Your stomach twists and lurches as if in free fall. You try to focus, to remember. A cafe.
Evening, Rick. Hell of a storm we're having. Have a seat and dry off. Let me guess, the usual?
Electric clouds roil around you. You're falling. Focus. Coffee. Chicory coffee. You take a sip. Then she bursts through the door.
Help! Please, help!
You run to her. She's drenched and shaking.
He's coming. You have to take this. Please, take it.
She hands you something. A flat piece of stone.
Where is it? Kendra, you have to, sir! Kendra, stop! You don't know what you're doing!
Get away from her!
The stone glows and bursts with light in your hands. You stumble backwards.
No!
Your eyes blink open as the world around you comes into focus. You are in a small, sparsely decorated bedroom with an antique style reminiscent of a time you can't quite place. You don't know how you got here, and the last thing you remember is the diner in Jackson Square. The girl. She was in trouble. You search your memory for more detail, but the strain hurts your head. It is an odd sensation. It's not that you can't remember, but rather your brain just can't be bothered to do it right now. You snap out of your reverie and notice the details of the room. The candlelit bedchamber is small but cozy. A tan trench coat hangs from something on the wall, next to a handsome writing desk. The only way out seems to be a closed door, worn with age. To open things like doors, you can say, "Open door."
Alert. RYFT would like to access speech recognition. Speech data from this app will be sent to Apple to process your requests. Don't allow button. Don't need this permission to get voice commands. RYFT would like to access the microphone. Allow. Change to typing mode button.
Come again?
Dictate.
Sometimes the
T.
game may mishear you. If you ever want to double check,
Repeat button.
you can
Skip
say,
button. Text field.
read
Is
last
line mode.
command
Insertion point
to hear a playback of what the game heard.
Space. Inspect. T. Space. D. K. Inspect
You don't
writing
see
text.
that there.
U. O. E. Space. Inspect. D. E. S. K.
A
Inspect
small notepad with an attached pen on a string rests on the desk. Next to it lies a book titled The Encyclopedia of Hints. There is a small drawer under the tabletop. Keep exploring and picking up and using objects. If you ever need to hear what's in the room again, you can always say, "Look around."
E. A. D. Space. B. K.
You pick up the Encyclopedia of Hints and flip through pages filled with innumerable topics. You think of the questions plaguing your mind. You can look up general advice.
S. Space. B. Space. G. E. Space. General. D. V. E. Ask
If
about
you
general
get
advice.
stuck, make sure you've explored everywhere you can. You may be missing an item you need to progress, so be sure to really examine each environment. Sometimes, you may even need to look at or interact with something more than once. As you progress, the hints from the encyclopedia will change depending on what you've done so far. Try looking up the topic a second time if you get stuck again after making some progress. Characters may be interested in some of the items in your inventory.
A, E, space, B, O, K. Take
You
look.
already have that.
P, D, space, O, T, P, D. Read
You
mark
don't
page.
see that there.
F, P, E, C, T, space, instant, O, T, E, A, D.
It's
Inspect
a
notepad.
small notepad with a pen attached to it on a string. It's blank except for a header at the top that reads, To-Do List.
L, O, K, space, A, O, U, N, D. Look
A
around.
tan trench coat hangs from something on the wall, next to a handsome writing desk. The only way out seems to be a closed door, worn with age.
P, S, D, W, R, space, open
You
drawer.
open the desk drawer. Inside, there is a single, hastily scrawled note.
P, A, D, O, T. Read
It
note.
appears to be some sort of hate note. It reads,
How I came by the misfortune of being stuck in this infernal place with a mongrel like you is beyond me. It's bad enough that you constantly smell of dog, but even your very face reminds one of that hateful canine race. And yet, it is hardly a surprise, as you are the leader of all bitches. You are a truly disgusting excuse for a human being, and it would be my greatest pleasure to never encounter you or your stench again. With deepest rancor, Archibald E. Thunker.
N, F, P, E, C, W, A, L.
A
Inspect wall.
tan trench coat hangs from something on the wall, next to a handsome writing desk. The only way out seems to be a closed door, worn with age. This trench coat is quite sporty. Perhaps a little behind the times, but you've always wanted a coat like this. Lots of pocket space.
T, K, K, E, C, O. Take
You
coat.
take the coat off the wall and try it on. It's almost a tailor fit, and quite stylish. Just then, a small rectangular device falls from one of the pockets. It hits the floor, engaging a button on its side. Tiny wheels behind a clear plastic window at its center whir into life below a label that reads, Tape 29.
I've got the stone, the... Damn it, what is it called? It won't be long before he notices it's gone. I've got to get to the lab, but I'm leaving the recorder and this message here in your room in case I fail. Archie, please. I know you're his butler, but you're my only friend here. If I fail, you have to help me remember. Whatever happens, he's got to be stopped. What he's planning... Coming, Father! Wish me luck.
That voice on the recording, you recognized it. It was the same girl from the cafe. She gave you something. Then, somehow you woke up here. In a butler's bedroom? You pick up the tape player and stash it in the trench coat's ample pocket space. Where the coat used to hang, a long nail sticks out from the wall.
A, E, N, I, L. Take
You
nail.
pry the nail from the wall and stuff it in your pocket. A rusty nail can have so many uses.
E, A, I, L, O, C, D, O. Use
A
nail on
rusty
door.
nail won't do much good there.
O, K, A, R, U, N, D. Look
A
around.
handsome writing desk presses up against a wall in the corner. The only way out seems to be a closed door, worn with age.
F, P, E, C, T, E, D, D, E, F, K.
A
Inspect
small
desk.
notepad with an attached pen on a string rests on the desk. There is a small drawer under the tabletop.
O, T, P, A, D. Take
You
notepad.
pick up the notepad and pen and stash it in your inventory. After all, Mom always said anything worth doing's worth writing down.
O, P, S, D, R, W, E, R. Open
It's
drawer.
already open.
F, P, E, T, S, D, R, W, E, R. Inspect
There
drawer.
is a single, hastily scrawled note inside.
K, E, O, T, E. Take
You
note.
stuff the note in your pocket.
F, S, P, T, S, L, L.
A
Inspect wall.
handsome writing desk presses up against a wall in the corner. The
Keyboard
only
visible.
way out seems to be a closed door, worn with age.
Keep open. Space, D, O, O, R. Open door.
You reach to twist the knob, but it snaps off and bounces to the floor. You take your notepad and add, escape the room to your to-do list. You can pick up or use objects by saying pick up object or use object. For example, try saying pick up the doorknob.
I, K, S, P, space, K, N, O, P. Pick up
You
knob.
pick up the broken knob and stash it in your inventory. To see what's in your item inventory, you can say Inventory. You can also use items with other items and things in the game. For example, try saying, use the doorknob with the door.
Use
You don't see that there.
Space. Use. K-N-O-B-O-O-O. Use
You
knob on
try
door.
to put the knob back in the door. It falls right back out. Clearly, something is wrong with the knob. You can examine objects closer by saying, look at object. For example, try saying, look at the doorknob.
L-O-K-T-K-O-B.
Looking at the doorknob, you can see that one of the two prongs on the back that connects with the door mechanism has been cracked off. With only one prong, this doorknob is dead as a doornail.
Use
You
nail on
take
knob.
the nail and fit it into the hole that the missing prong left behind in the back of the knob. Look at that. Fits like a glove.
O-P-S-O-R. Open
Without
door.
a knob, there's no way to open it.
E-K-O-B-S-T-O-R. Use knob on
The
door.
knob fits back into the door with a satisfying click. You twist it. It handles a bit awkwardly, but with a little jiggling, the latch retracts and the door swings open. You step through the door into a long hallway. On one of the walls is a beautiful mahogany door. A screwdriver lies on the floor. There are exits west back to the small bedroom, and east. To navigate the game, you can say go north, south, west, east, up, or down. To see what exits are available in your current room, say list exits. There are many natural language commands throughout the game. Feel free to experiment as you explore. To hear a full list of game commands, say help at any time.
Take
You
screwdriver.
pick up the screwdriver.
P-E-C-T-S-K-T-O-R.
This
Inspector.
gorgeous door is carved from the finest mahogany. Inlaid upon its rich brown exterior are ancient scenes of men and women on horseback, toting water jugs and other unfamiliar objects. The symbols and scenes are reminiscent of both Egyptian hieroglyphs and Grecian pottery. It is just begging to be opened.
P-S-T-O-R. Open
You
door.
place your hand on the door's cast iron knob and turn it. It's locked. Of course.
Look
There
around.
is a mahogany door on the south wall that is locked. There are exits west back to the small bedroom, and east. You enter a large living room. A chandelier adorned with burning candles hangs from the high ceiling, illuminating elegant wood moldings. In the center of the room, a lush armchair with an oversized ottoman faces a coffee table adorned with dust and an old thermos. Nearby, you see a staircase. However, its bottom steps are all rotted and broken. To the south is the front door. On the east wall, there is an exit into another room. To the west is the hallway that leads back to your original starting point. Come again?
You
You don't see that there. You don't see that there. There's nothing of note.
Look
In
around.
the center of the room, a lush armchair with an oversized ottoman. It is an exquisite leather chair with matching ottoman.
Sit on
You
chair.
take a seat in the armchair. It is seductively comfortable. But you decide you'd better keep on your toes if you're going to find a way home.
Take
You
chair.
try to move the chair, but it won't budge. It's a bit too heavy.
Look
In the
around.
center of the room, a lush armchair with an oversized ottoman faces a coffee table adorned with dust and an old thermos. Nearby, you see a staircase. Come again?
Inspect.
You don't see that there. Come again? The coffee table and the thermos on top are quite dusty.
Hint.
You don't want to do that. Sometimes the game may mishear you. If you ever want to double check, you can say, "Read last command," to hear a playback of what the game heard. In the center of the room, a lush armchair with an oversized ottoman faces a coffee table adorned with dust and an old thermos. Nearby, you see a staircase. However, its bottom steps are all rotted and broken. To the south is the front door. On the east wall, there is an exit in. Calling this a staircase is perhaps inaccurate. Given its decimated state, it is closer to the memory of a staircase. The bottom half of it is totally collapsed, and what remains of the top half looks questionably sturdy. You add, "Find a way upstairs" to your to-do list. You scan the contents for the questions plaguing your mind. You can look up general advice, how to get upstairs. You can look up a hint, the answer, or something else. The top of the collapsed staircase is just a little too high to reach. If only there were some way to give yourself a leg up. You don't see that there. Tempting, but you don't have time to be sitting around.
Staircase. Use chair on
You'd
staircase.
rather not.
Answer.
You can look up
You can
look up You can look up in the center of the room, a lush armchair with an oversized ottoman faces a coffee table adorned with dust and an old thermos. Nearby, you see a staircase. However, its bottom steps are all rotted and broken. To the south is the front door. On the east wall, there is an exit into another room. To the west is the hallway that leads back to your original starting. It's a sturdy ottoman with gorgeous plush leather. Almost the perfect ottoman, really, except it's a bit too tall. It's no time to kick your feet up. You can't do that. To see where you can go, say list exits or list fast travel. It's no time to kick your feet up.
Image. Status bar item. A black and white illustration of a crescent moon.
Calling this a staircase is perhaps inaccurate. Given its decimated state, it is closer to the memory of a staircase. The bottom half of it is totally collapsed, and what remains of the top half looks questionably sturdy. You add, "Find a way upstairs" to your to-do list. You scan the contents for the questions plaguing your mind. You can look up general advice, how to get upstairs. You can look up a hint, the answer, or something else. Move the ottoman to the staircase and climb up to the second floor.
Ottoman. Move
You
ottoman.
give the ottoman a nudge. It's heavy, but it could be moved, if you had somewhere you wanted to move it.
Ottoman. Move
As
ottoman to
you
stairs.
move the ottoman, you notice there's another cassette tape lying on the floor beneath it. You make a mental note, and then finish bringing the ottoman over to the base of the broken staircase. You plop it down, creating a sort of makeshift step that's just tall enough for you to reach the intact portion of the staircase.
Use
You
tape.
pick up the tape and put it in Kendra's player.
Hey, Kendra. It's Kendra. Found this old tape recorder tucked away in Father's study. Figure maybe it can help with our memory if we start keeping a little voice diary. So, don't forget to keep up with it, okay? Also, don't tell Father about this. He doesn't like me messing with temporal artifacts, so it's our little secret. He's gone again today. He's been gone for a while this time. Maybe in Europe again. Hope he comes back soon. The house is really starting to fall apart. In his absence, I've taken to walking the grounds. Yesterday I tried to solve the hedge maze, but nothing made any sense to me. I know there's some trick to it, but it's hard to run an empirical study when you can barely even remember what you had for breakfast. Tonight, I think I'll go up to the lighthouse and watch the stars flickering over the edge of the world. I like looking at them. It's peaceful. It almost feels like I'm somewhere else.
You stash the tape in your inventory.
Oh, space U. P. Go up.
You don't see that there.
Oh, space. Go. Selection delete. F E space F T A I R F. Use stairs.
You step up onto the ottoman and jump to reach the first intact stair. You pull yourself up onto your torso and just barely manage to heave the rest of your body over the ledge. The rest of the stairs are sturdy enough, and you make your way up to the second floor. The walls of the hallway are lined with portraits and other works of art, including busts and statuary, all depicting very similar-looking people. Perhaps descendants of this mansion's dynastic owners? Embedded in one of the walls is a small wooden hatch with a handle. A grease-stained sheet of paper lies on the floor below. There are exits to the west into a master bedroom, to the east onto a balcony, and down the stairs to the living room. If you ever want to quickly revisit somewhere you've already explored, you can fast travel back to it by saying go to room. For example, go to the living room. It is a recipe for Master's favorite Eggs Benedict. You pick up the recipe. The walls of the hallway are lined with portraits and other works of art, including busts and statuary, all depicting very similar-looking people. Perhaps descendants of this mansion's dynastic owners? Embedded in one of the walls is a small wooden hatch with a handle. There are exits to the small hatch has hinges and a handle. You pull open the hatch, revealing a dumbwaiter chute behind it. The tray is missing, but there is a rope on a pulley that stretches down to the floors below. You can't pick that up. You don't see that there. You don't see that there. You pull on the rope and hear a creaking noise echo from below. It sounds like the dumbwaiter's tray has arrived at some level below.
Inspect. Inspect.
You don't see that there.
Look. Selection deleted. Look. Inspect. Inspect.
You don't see that there.
Impact. Misspelled. Impact. Selection delete. Look at wall.
Nah.
Look around.
The walls of the hallway are lined with portraits and other works of art, including busts and statuary, all depicting very similar-looking people. Perhaps descendants of this mansion's dynastic owners? Embedded in one of the walls is a dumbwaiter chute with a pulley and rope mechanism. There are exits to the west into a master bedroom, to the east onto a balcony. The dumbwaiter's tray is missing. On the side, there is a pulley with an attached rope that stretches down the chute to the floors below.
Pulley.
The best way to pull this pulley is the rope. You enter the master bedroom. A bed fit for a king occupies the center of the room. Next to it is a small bedside table. Across the room is a dresser with a large, distorted mirror mounted above it. In the corner, there is a closet. There is an exit east, back to the Hall of History. The bedside table has a single closed drawer. You open the drawer to reveal a bottle of sleeping pills inside. You pocket the sleeping pills, hoping you don't rattle everywhere you walk from here on out. Judging by the arrangement of the bed's decorative pillows and the wrinkle-free state of its lush, embroidered quilt, It has probably been a long while since anyone has slept in this bed.
Look
A
around.
bed fit for a king occupies the center of the room. Next to it is a small bedside table. Across the room is a dresser with a large, distorted mirror mounted above it. In the corner, there is a closet. There is an... Come again? This dresser is a fine work of woodcraft. You don't know much about furniture, but you'd bet even money that this is a Chippendale.
Closet. Open
You
closet.
try to open the door, but it's locked. A man's voice speaks muffled from inside.
Hello? Who's that? Hello? I'm trapped in here. That uncouth cretin locked me in while I was changing the bed sheets. Please, you have to help me.
You can ask about locked in. Who are you? This place? Escape? Kindra.
Space. RSPCA. Selection delete. Escape.
The only escape I'm concerned with is getting out of this cupboard. As for leaving the Nexus, the Master would tell you it's easy as 1, 2, 3. But of course, he's used to moving the hands of time.
U. Who are you?
I am Archibald E. Thunker, head butler of the Nexus Manor. I have buttled this humble home for longer than most butlers can hope to achieve in their entire careers. It has been my greatest honor to serve here, and my greatest indignity to be introducing myself from inside this infernal cupboard.
Locked in.
Yes, by that wretched, drunken kennel master. He spends all his time with uncivilized beasts, and so he acts like them. We've never seen eye to eye, but this is too far, sir. Too far. I simply came in the closet to change the sheets, and then while my back was turned, the brute slammed the door behind me and turned the key.
New topic added. Kennel Master?
Repeat button. Pause button. Yes. Lock. Yes. By that. I am who. The only is. You try to open the door. Open clock. You escape. You try to open the door, but it's locked. Lines. You. Hello. Who, locked in. Who are you? This place. Escape. Kindra. Kindra. Escape. Kindra. Kindra. Copy to clipboard. Kindra. Kindra.
What did you say? Kendra? I can't hear a damn thing through this door.
Kindra.
To see what topics you can ask, say
Repeat button.
list topics.
List
You
topics.
can ask about Kennel Master, this place, escape.
Space. This. PLACE.
You are obviously new here, but undoubtedly you are already aware of the rather extraordinary nature of the Nexus. Having trouble remembering things? Does it seem like a certain something is missing from the world? What you are missing, my boy, is the tick of the minute hand. Don't believe me? Look at a clock. This peculiarity is of the greatest interest to my master. It is why our work here is so very important. But I've said too much.
New topic added. The Master?
MASTRE. Master.
The master? Oh, well, I'm closer to him than anyone. As his butler, I often find myself assisting him with his studies of the Nexus. He is a most brilliant and powerful man, I can tell you. He often goes off like this for periods of time to collect things for his research on the Kiudba Aliga. Sod it, Archie. When will you learn to keep your mouth shut?
New topic added. That weird word he just said.
WOD. Word.
The Kiudba Aliga. It is the key to everything. But I won't say more than that. Not until you get me out of here.
OI. Space. Post. TOP. LI. T. Space. TOPI. CS. List
You
topics.
can ask about Kennel Master, escape.
ESCAP. Escape.
The only escape I'm concerned with is getting out of this cupboard. As for leaving the Nexus, the Master would tell you it's easy as 1, 2, 3. But of course, he's used to moving the hands of time.
I-R-N-A-L space L misspelled L-A-N-E-R-K K-E-N-N-N-A-L space Kennel M-S-T-E-R Kennel Master.
Yes, the wretch looks over the Master's scent hounds, but I'm afraid the grounds are quite overhunted, and the idleness has driven the man into the bottom of a bottle. On a number of occasions he has behaved inappropriately around my dear fiancée, and I dare say he is likely to go further, if he hasn't already. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me at all if my imprisonment is part of his muddle-headed scheme to snatch her away from me. You must help me, you must find the key and get me out of here.
New topic added. Key.
K-E-Y key.
Yes, you know the little metal thingy you put in the door and twist? You have heard of doors, haven't you? Or is that concept foreign to you as well? I'm sorry if I'm being snippy, but I've been in here for ages and ages. You have to get me out. Find that mongrel kennel master. He's the key to finding, well, the key.
G-O-D-B-Y-R. Goodbye.
Please find the key and get me out of here. I know things about this place, and if it's escape you want, I may be your only hope. Get me out and I'll tell you everything.